So this is setting up animations and toggles and all that fun stuff. So I'm going to show you how to set up the onesie. Oh, I should have probably ignore that step. So we have the wicker model, and what we're going to do is we're going to take this onesie, we're going to pull it into the scene. It will appear into the hierarchy, even though you can also just pull it into the hierarchy, but I prefer to pull it into the scene. I've just been doing that way for a long time. You see this position right here. If it ends up over there, you just want to set all those positions, X, Y, and Z, to 0, and it should be lined up with the avatar itself. See, now we're going to click on the wicker base body, right click on it, and press select children. It will open all this. And we're also going to do the same step to the onesie, right click on it, press select children, and we'll open up the whole thing. I'm going to pull it up above the wicker. We'll see in a second why. That way I can pull this down just into this instead of having to go up. So we're going to right click once again on the onesie, unpack prefab, and what we're going to do is we're going to drag this right foot toe 004 all the way down to the toe R, and we're going to do that for the rest of the toes. And see, so we just dragged all the toes into the corresponding armature on the wicker's base body. Now we're going to take foot R, drag it all the way down until we hit foot R, which is the corresponding armature on the base body. See right here? I'm still holding onto the foot R of the onesie, and boop, now it's attached to it, or parented. As you can see, it says undo foot R parenting. It's called parenting because it's technically just putting it with the corresponding thing. And with shin R, I'm going to drag it all the way down to shin R, parent it to the same thing, and we're going to do that to the rest of this. And for the toes, the left foot toe 004, we're going to drag it all the way down to toe L. I'm going to do that for the rest of the toes. Foot L goes with foot L on the base model. So we're going to drag it all the way down, until we hit foot L, shin L, thigh L, so on and so forth. For tail 001, we're going to drag it all the way down and parent it with tail 001, which is right here, right under tail root. And tail root is going to go with the other tail root, which I just showed you. So we're going to go boop, boop, and then boop. This thumb right here, which looks funky because you wouldn't think it would have a thumb one. I'm actually going to close this ear left, ear right, and hair root. That way it's just easier, and the tongue root, just so it's easier to, instead of keep having to go down, 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 like really far. Take the thumb 01, R, and we're going to drag it down and pair it with thumb 01R. Hand R, goes with the hand R, forearm R goes with forearm R, and so on and so forth. Same goes with thumb 01L, and so on and so forth, until we get all these little armatures paired up with their corresponding armatures that's directly onto the model. Head goes with head, next goes neck, breast R goes with breast R, breast L goes with breast L, chest goes with chest, spine goes with spine, hips goes with hips, and armature goes with armature. Now, what you're going to be left with is the body of onesie, wicker onesie, and the main point that you can easily switch on and switch off like that. You're going to be left with those two. What you want to do is take the one that you can, this like this, not the body that has the mesh renders, but the regular one. You want to drag that onto the body directly. So where it says base wicker base body, just want to drag it onto there, so that way the body is still attached to the beginning armature. What we're going to do next is toggles. Now, toggles are when you upload it to VRChat or whatever, it allows you to toggle it off your avatar. That way you can either wear it when you want to. So we're going to click on the base body itself, go down to here to wicker expression parameters. We're going to get rid of all of this by clicking these blank ones. I don't know why they're there, but what we're going to do is we're going to click on it till it turns blue and press delete. And just do it for the rest of those, because there's no point of them being there if they're going to be blank. Okay, now we're going to press add and name it onesie with a capital O. Then we're going to go down to type right here, and we're going to set it as a bool. Now, I'm going to go back to the avatar, and we're going to set the FS controller, go to it, click on it, and then we're going to go up here to animator and make sure that everything's lines up with this. Make sure you're on the right one, if you have more than one in there. Go to parameters right here, so when you open, make sure the FX controller is open. In animator, you're going to see layers first, but then we're going to go up here to parameters. We're going to click this little plus sign and then go to bool. It should pop up as a new bool and be highlighted. What we're going to do is spell onesie with a capital O, and you always want to make sure that it's spelled the same way as you spelled it in the parameters in the first place. Cool. Now that's set. Here comes the fun part. We're going to learn how to make animation. Now, you see this here? Make sure that it's for the wicker, so we can see this all lines up with the wicker. What we're going to do is press this little drop down menu. We're going to press create new clip, and we're going to name it onesie off, and press enter or save. Right? So now that we have the onesie fully connected and whatnot, we're going to press this little record button, locate the onesie, which would be down here under the Wicker Beast body, and toggle this off. Now we have our off animation. What we're going to do is go down to slow drop menu, create new clip, onesie, but now we're going to call it onesie on. We're going to want to have an off and on animation, right? Before we press record again, we're going to toggle this, press this little thing off, press the record, and then press it back on. As you can see, this little property pops up, and it will be like, okay, this game object is active on this, and if we go back to our onesie off, this game object is off or unselected. Now, just to fix it, crouching like that, all you have to do is go like this and select, I don't know, onesie on or something else. It usually depends. I'm going to try to get it to go back. There I go. If you press A, we'll go back. I promise you the avatar will never be stuck like that. So see, now I'll go back to onesie on. I ain't doing that little crouch thing. Cool, we have our animations now. Then we go back to our animator. We go to layers. Make sure we're going to layers, so you're going to see left hand, right hand, ear wiggle, tail wiggle, and female shift if you're doing a wicker. What we're going to do is press this little plus button right here and name it onesie. Not onesie off or onesie on, just onesie. Okay, and so now it has that one layer. You see how these are white and this bar is gray? What we're going to do is press this little gear. We're going to set the weight to 1. We're going to locate where our animations ended up, which you can see mine ended up right here. We're going to see onesie off. We're going to drag the off animation in first, and it should pop up like this. And next we're going to drag the on animation in there, and it should turn into this little gray box. What we're going to do is right click on the onesie off, make transition, and when you're going to have this little white thing, make sure the little arrow in line connects to the onesie on animation by when you just click on it. So now we're going to go to the onesie on animation and press make transition, and then we're going to have this little, my unit's being a little laggy, little arrow thing. We're going to click on the onesie off animation, and so you see it's connected. So transitions onesie off to onesie on, and onesie on to onesie off. I'm going to be pressing these little white arrows, and this is going to pop up. So what we're going to do is open the settings, click off exit time, and set transition duration from 0.25 to 0. And then you're going to see conditions right here. What you're going to do is go over to this little plus sign, and this will pop up most likely. What you're going to do is press on gestures left, locate the onesie parameter, and make sure it's set to true up right over here, which it usually does automatically. And what we're going to do next is we're going to press on this other arrow, do the same steps, get rid of exit time, and set transition duration to 0. And we're going to repeat. But now, instead of having it set to true, we're going to have it set to false. And boom, you just made a animation. Now, there is one more step to this. What I'm going to do is make a sub-menu for my clothing for this avatar. What we're going to do is we're going to go to the expressions menu, which should be right under menu. Right? We're going to make sure that's open, make sure everything's in there. What we're going to do is right click in here, go to create, go to VRChat, go to avatars, and go to expression menus, right? And it will give you a new whole expression menu. what we're gonna do is we're gonna name that close submenu. As you can see, I named it close submenu. We're gonna do is add a control, open it up, and under name we're gonna call it onesie. And for type, we're going to set it as toggle. And right here where it says parameter, it has this little drop down menu. You want to locate your onesie parameter, or it's going to be called onesie dash bool, or comma bool. Cool, we have that. What we're gonna do is go back to our expression menu for the wicker. We're going to press add control. We're going to have this new control right here. We're going to open it up, call it close. We're going to set that as a submenu, and we're going to take this little close submenu that we just created, drag it and drop it. Or you can click on this little button right here, and it will show you. Okay, and we just did it. There's your toggles. There's your little toggle set up. And sorry, I kept pausing and unpausing. So after that's done, once it's uploaded, it should look like this. Go up in your expressions menu, or your little menu on the side. You go to expressions. You should have your little submenu that you created. Click on that, and the ones you should be on there. And there you go. You've made your first toggle.